Hello everyone, welcome to Astra, the daily current affairs. This is Dhanunjayareddy bringing you the current affairs. In the last 2 weeks, I couldn't do this because of my tight schedule. But from today, I'm going to restart it. So let's start with this. So today it is 8th of September 2023. Let's look at what are the important aspects that we have in the Hindu as far as UPSC is considered. So in the front page, Delhi may turn venue for dialogue on reviving the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Black Sea Grain Initiative is very important for this year prelims because this was in news and Russia has went off this Black Sea Grain Initiative. Now, what exactly is this Black Sea Grain Initiative? Uh, After the Russia-Ukraine war has begun last year, Ukraine is known as granary of the Europe. All the grains of European countries are present in Ukraine. Because of the war, this grain has been blocked in Ukraine. In order to overcome that, Russia and Ukraine has entered with the mediation of Turkey to allow the grains to pass through the Black Sea. As a result, for UPSC prelims, Black Sea borders are very important, as well as this term Black Sea Grain Initiative is very, very important. Subsequently, what it happened to this initiative is Ukraine, after attacking the Kerch Strait, Russia has went back on this Black Sea Grain Initiative, and they have stopped exporting the food grains. Now they wanted to use G20 summit, that is the Delhi venue, in order to overcome this problem. This is the news. African Union to join G20 as Sherpas reach a deal. A very great festive mood is happening in India because of the Z20. This is all a celebratory event for us. So African Union is going to join G20. We should know that African Union is not a part of Z20. It is European Union which is a part of Z20. Now African Union is interested to join this G20 as negotiator agreed to this membership. So they are thinking to make African Union to be a part of Z20. So this might become Z21 very recently. That is the thing. So Z20 might become Z21 because membership of the African Union in the grouping appears to be major breakthrough, with both Russia and China officials backing the move. It is unclear whether the forum will be renamed as G21 or not. So let's see how it is going to turn out. But this is the thing. We are going to start this Z20 meeting very soon. So this is the front page news that is very important. So Z20 news is very, very important. So SRK's movies Jawan review has been given here. So not important, leave it. Directly going into the so-called editorial pages. Disappearing languages, vanishing voices. So this was written by Suprakash Chandra Rai. Now what he is telling is, any loss of language is not only a loss of linguistic diversity but also loss in terms associated with cultural variations, opinions, views and knowledge. So what is the use of language in forming the culture? We all know that language is the basis for culture of any place. Now culture flourishes only with the language. Now if some language is getting disappeared because of the so-called use of English, many local languages are being neglected. In this context, it is going to be a threat not for the language itself, it is going to be a threat for the human existence altogether. That is, it is a threat for the culture altogether, because people will lose the voice that they have to speak over a period of time. This is the article that he has written. For history optional students, you can read it, otherwise this is not important. Now, the major article is Building Consensus on Z20 Summit. The success of the Z20 Summit hinges on a truce among the fractious parties. We all know that the Z20 parties are having some troubles among themselves. If we look at the Russia-Ukraine war, so Ukraine war or Ukraine conflict is the most pivotal thing in this G20 summit, because Russia is standing on one line, the Western countries are standing on the other line, the Southern countries are standing on the other line. As a result, India's membership or India's presidency is going to be tested, whether we are going to reconciliate all these dividing factions and whether we are going to get all this to come to terms. So India has seen many odds, and India's efforts will be visible in this G20. Let's wait and see how G20 is going to turn it out. But this is an important article. Please have a look at it. You have to read this. This is followed by ASEAN Summit, where Prime Minister Modi has recently visited to Jakarta, Indonesia, in order to attend the ASEAN East Asia ASEAN Summit. So we all know that what are ASEAN members and what is East Asian Summit. East Asian Summit is a group of 18 countries. That is very, very important. Please look at what are those 18 countries and what is happening with ASEAN recently. And there was some internal divisions in the ASEAN, particularly with Myanmar, as Myanmar has entered into the military coup. So this is the thing. ASEAN did well to call out at the Myanmar junta's repressions of dissidents. So what did it say? It said that Myanmar should bring back the democracy which is present early, otherwise they are not going to consider Myanmar in their meetings. This was the firm resolution that ASEAN has passed as far as Myanmar is considered. So in this context, this article, you have to read this article, this is very important. And for PSIR students, one beautiful article is from South Korea. That is, what is the role of South Korea in the Indo-Pacific? This was written by Happyman Jacob, a very good article again. So, Republic of South Korea, what it is going to play in the Indo-Pacific, whether it is going to be a part of the Quad team and whether it is going to be a part of America's pivot to Asia's doctrine. So all these issues were discussed here, and what is South Korea looking at in the Indo-Pacific region, because the dominance or because of the belligerent attitude of China. Subsequently, many states in this region are looking for Indo-Pacific, are looking for some new partners, and South Korea is also looking for these new partners as a result. Now, in this context, we have to see whether Korea, Japan, India, as well as USA is going to play any key role or not. The outcomes of the South Korea Japan US trilateral meeting gives New Delhi and Seoul a unique opportunity to enhance their strategic partnership. So, in this context, South Korea and India may come together because we have the common interests in this line. So, again, PSIR students, I recommend you to read this one the important article. Do subsidies and safety nets take away focus from generating jobs? So, this article has come from recent remarks that Prime Minister Modi has done when he was giving interview to Money Control newspaper. Now, in this, Prime Minister Modi has clearly said that states should stop giving freebies which might cause physical imprudence. This was the reason. Now the question is whether subsidies or the freebies that states are giving is really taking away the jobs or is really creating a pressure on the financial path. Absolutely, they create pressure on the financial path, but whether it is important or not. So in this context, welfare schemes, whether this is necessary or not in a state, country like India, where the economy levels are very, very low in many states. In this context, this article was written. Please read this article. So subsidies are nothing but unilateral transfer payments where government will be transferring unilaterally from one party to the other party without expecting anything in return. So in that scenario, whether subsidies are really important, whether it is costing the revenue expenditure of the government and whether the fiscal imbalances are going to be too apart. In this context, they have given what is the importance of social development along with the economic development. These things can be discussed in this. So if you are interested, you can read this article again. So these are the things. The rest of the things are from the so-called national news. Modi presents 12-point proposal to expand India-ASEAN cooperation. This is also a must-to-read article. So Prime Minister Modi's comments in ASEAN summit has come out. So have a look at it. At G20, Japan backs India, not China, as a bridge to global south. So we have to follow G20 very carefully, particularly the UPSC PSIR students. Please have a look at it. This is going to be a very important thing. So India is considered as a bridge for global south because India has also committed or has conducted a summit known as Voice of Global South before starting this G20 last year. In this context, Japan is backing India to be the head of the global south, not China. So in this context, what is global south? These are very important for international relations students. High hopes for climate and energy outcomes at summit. So summit is going to take place. We have to wait and watch what are the things that we are going to have and what are the things which we are going to miss. Center to stop sites from wavering dark patterns to mislead buyers. Not important, leave it. So at ASEAN summit, Indonesia warns against new conflicts. Interactions between officials from the US and China are being closely watched as they seek to control tensions that risk flaring in new over issues ranging from Taiwan ties to Moscow. So this was again a very good initiative that Indonesia has done in its ASEAN East Asian Summit. So in this, all the fractious countries are coming together and they are making some deals. We have to read this article because this will be giving an edge for all the countries to come discuss and settle their disputes. So again, international relations news. Coming to the economics, onions, tomatoes, spices fired up thali cost in August. What is thali cost? Thali cost means plate meals. The cost of the plate is going to increase because of or has increased in August because of this rise. So this is again some inflation in food items. Government must not stunt e-commerce growth. SBI offers card to use across transit modes. So these things have come, not important, you can leave it conveniently. And then going to the so-called text and context page, very important, impact of RBI's lending guidelines. So recently RBI has introduced guidelines enabling a borrower to transit from floating interest rate based to a fixed interest rate. Now what exactly are this? I am going to make a separate video on this. Have a look at it, it is going to be helpful, but this is a very important article. What is heat index? Why is it important to measure? Not important for us, just look who gives this heat index, that is more than enough. The rest of the things are not that much important, right? Next one, Ukraine war, the issues with Russia's arms purchases from North Korea. Again, this is an international news for PSR students, you can read. So this is all what you have in today's newspaper. So if you look at the today's newspaper, what are the major things? The two editorials that is important, Happy Man Jacobs article and subsidies article, followed by the G20 summit reforms that India had brought in. So all these are important. If you are interested, please read them. I am going to make short videos on this by today evening. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.